Hey, all you amazing people! Welcome to Love on Record, the podcast where we turn up the volume on stories of love, connection, and the wild, wonderful ways that people are shaping a kinder world. Every episode, we hit record on conversations that remind us that we have the power to choose love each and every day. So whether you're on your morning commute, cooking up something delicious, or just taking a break, join us for this incredible conversation. Fabulous. Well, I am so excited to introduce Dr. Shanika Jackson as our guest today. She is so absolutely incredible. Could you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and currently what you're doing?
For starters, hello. Again, my name is Dr. Shanika Jackson. I am from Chicago. I grew up in the Englewood community on the south side of Chicago, and I lived there for the most part my entire life. And I just recently moved from the Englewood community in December of 2024. So I'm currently in, I would say, the Washington Heights / Beverly community now, where, things are, I would say, a little bit. And currently, my full-time work is in public service. I have been working for the Chicago Police Department since April of 2023. Before I started working with the Chicago Police Department, I worked for a couple of nonprofit organizations helping military men and women find housing. I was really big into real estate at that time, so it kind of aligned with my personal experiences. And then I went on and worked for another nonprofit doing workforce development for formerly incarcerated individuals, helping them to find jobs, doing a lot of case management and a lot of referral services to other nonprofit organizations that can help them with anything as less as food and things like that. Currently, what I'm working on is my own nonprofit now. I decided to step down from my duties from the organization I was with from 2017 to 2024, which is my foundation, Smarts to Great Stars Corporation. And I stepped down in actually December of 2024. But Off to College Inc. is the new organization. I want Off to College Inc. to track college completion for minority students because I think that is very important that we know that they went on and finished that degree. It's not about them graduating high school and giving them the necessary essentials and tools and scholarships, but seeing that they finish a degree and helping them to find a career. So that's really what I'm working on right now with Off to College Inc.
Yes, definitely. That is all amazing. So incredible. I'm so inspired hearing about all the different things that you've done, and I can't wait to continue to talk about more of those. But first, could you give us a little bit more of an insight into this new venture, Off to College Inc., and how specifically you aim to empower students? And you mentioned tracking college completion. What else is that venture and that nonprofit setting out to do?
For starters, I developed a project called the My College Going Self Project. It was a project that started out helping African American males and why they was having so many challenges transitioning from high school to higher education. I started doing workshops in the Chicago public libraries with these young boys and trying to find out what their issues were. It was a small group, all workshops, no more than 13 to 14 students at a time on 2 consecutive Saturdays out of every month during the months of September through November, because we did not want to impede on their vacations and things like that. We were real adamant about making sure that we still gave them time to do their schoolwork and things like that and still participate in workshops and stuff with us. So what I am looking to do now, I'm looking to revamp that program so that I can focus on bringing on the college students. The college students were not readily involved at first. It was just 14 to 18-year-old minority students from Chicago communities. But now I would like to have the college students involved because I think that they will bring the motivation to the high school students in such a great way. I plan to have workshops for the 14 to 18-year-olds during the months of September through December, and then during the summer, because college students are typically in school, a lot of them are away on campuses and they do not return until like May. So I'm looking to have workshops with them them during the summer, while the high school students focus on volunteerism and community service work with other organizations. So what I'm doing with my board of directors, we are going to lay out what we want the My College Going Self project to look like and how we're going to bring in the college students into this process, as well as making sure that we can kind of make a list of the different organizations that will be willing to allow our high school students to come in and do some volunteer work for no more than 20 hours per week. They will do this every summer until they reach 300 hours of service, and then we're looking to give them a stipend for it. This is the plan that I have had ever since I developed off the college in process. Secondly is the Trunk Essentials. Trunk Essentials giveaway initially started when I was with my foundation in 2022, and it brought about a lot of success between 2022 and 2023. So the goal is to continue that project. This is what was done in 2023, and it was great. I mean, it was really great. We had a really good turnout of 15 high school students, and we had 5 college students that returned from the previous year and was talking
Wow.
to the incoming college students that were on their way to school. And so this is something that I want to do every year because it allows that tracking system that I am developing and putting together to make sure that they finish their college education. What I have noticed about trunk essentials, trunk parties, things of that nature, is that everybody is doing it now. Everybody is doing it. I mean, from my church here in Chicago, they
Wow.
do it now every year for the high school seniors that are going away to school. They just gave away 10 scholarships to high school students, undergrad students, and some graduate level students. $10,000 each.
Wow. My jaw is like literally on the floor. This is so incredible just hearing about all of the work and the impact. I'd love to jump back to what we were talking about, trunk essentials. I believe that is where Let's Choose Love and our relationship kind of first began, was with Trunk Essentials and the giveaway. Can you talk about a little bit more about how Let's Choose Love has impacted the Trunk Essentials giveaway?
Yes, I love the fact that Choose Love shined a highlight on that very first trunk party that we 22 partnered with another organization called Strengthening a Nation. She came together with a few students, high school students. I came together with a few high school students, and we put trunks together for those students at an event that she was having. That is what really sparked and started the Trunk Essentials giveaway. 3. That is when I came up with the idea to bring some of the students that were awarded trunks that very first year back to meet with us to talk about their first year of college, how things were going, to kind of give some advice to the high school students that was going to be going into college that year. I had a couple of organizations that were involved. That brought their students. Their students filled out applications for trunks as well.
We are thankful for you and all of the amazing ways that you are continuing to step up and spread love. It's so inspiring to hear all of that. And I'm curious, in all of these programs, what have some of those challenges looks like? How have you overcome some of the different obstacles or things that you may not have expected? How have you been able to overcome those to be where you are and to make the ventures that you've made today?
Well, what I want to speak to first, Brian, is that this is the most important lesson that I learned throughout, just having a business, working with people, is that you just have to know who you're partnering with. And you have to have that open communication about who's going to do what and how that person is going to play their part. And I think that that is where the lesson came for me. Also, too, what gets me through is the passion that I have for education. Education has always given me the opportunities that I have in my employment, in my life, just about anything that I've done. Why do I want to do this in the first place? Why did I decide that I wanted to help minority students go to school? Why? Because I went. And so I would not dare ask someone to do something that I didn't do or I didn't complete. I know that they can do it. I just want to make sure that I can use all of my experiences and all of my skills to show them that they can.
Yes. I would love to jump back to what you you were saying about exploring my why and like why am I here? Why am I doing the work? And I'd love to hear more about your story and hear more about your why and what's brought you to this point.
My why is because I want minorities to know that they can. Despite what we have going on right now with education, they can. They just have to know that they can. High school students, they go to college and they have a hard time navigating even the campus or knowing what resources are available because these are not things that are told to them before they go. And granted, it wasn't told to me. Okay, I got in my last year of my undergrad studies and I ran out of money. No one told me when I graduated from high school, top 10% of my class, you probably can go straight to a 4-year university. These are not things that are explained to students, okay? A lot of young people don't know how to ask the right questions. So I want to help them to ask the right questions. And that's why the workshops at the library is so important. And that's why that is going to continue because that is a part of the curriculum for the My College Oneself project. In addition to them going out there in the summers while I'm working with the college students to do some volunteerism at a nonprofit or a business where they can gain some skills and put together a little resume that can be sent with their college application when it's time for them to apply.
That is, oh, wow, that's so inspiring. And I'm curious, in that journey and in your path and in your passion, in your why, you're talking about uplifting other students. Was there a particular moment or a particular memory that you have, either growing up or more recently, that you might identify as like a defining moment where you realize, like, I have the power to step out and give back, and I have the power to choose love as opposed to the alternative?
Yes. So there was a young lady. She joined my foundation in her sophomore year. And so at that time, we were dealing with COVID-19. So, of course, I couldn't run workshops. But while like we're talking like this, I was the teenagers that we had in the program. And so just this past year, she completed her college degree. She completed her college degree at Central State University. She was an accountant major. She still lives in Ohio, where Central State is. And she's doing okay. And so that is what I mean by wanting to continue to support and wanting to continue to help college students.
I'm curious, what impact would you hope that Off to College Inc. plays, not just in the community and in Chicago, but in terms of our country or in our world? How far do you see that impact going?
Well, what I would like to do, I would most definitely love to take my experiences, to other cities, whether it be running workshops for teenagers that live in different cities, while I work with teenagers that are here in Chicago. And I most definitely want to tailor my Trunk Essentials giveaway to students that live in other cities as well. I don't know if other cities are doing it. That's something that I would need to, look into in the future, because I'm still building things out. I'm still, trying to see who else that, I can bring in to assist in what we're doing. And I also want to say the volunteer program that I have, I'm most definitely making some changes even there. Because the Starbucks brand, which was a part of my foundation, is willing to still do volunteerism over the summer with my new venture. They granted my foundation a grant back in 2019. They are still going to be present with me with this new transition that I'm making.
I love the ways that people continue to connect. And as we begin to wrap up our conversation today, I'm curious, what tips would you have for others who are trying to change the world? You have so much experience and so many things that you've done, so many ventures you've started. I'm curious, for someone who is maybe just starting out, what tips would you have to go out and change the world?
Well, for starters, the passion is what helps. It's about the people you're serving. And that's what it's always been about for me. You know, there's a lady that's located here, and she's doing a great job. She's over in the Roseland community in Chicago. Her name is Diane Lackater, and she runs a organization called Kids Off the Block. And I remember her being on the news one day, and she said one thing that is very important and I hold so dear. She said, you don't have to have a whole lot of money to support. You just have to care. And that's the problem. I care. It's not about the money. The money is going to come because the accomplishments that I made in writing the grants that I wrote for my foundation. What you want to do is show people your work and what you're doing. And they're going to support you right out the floodgates. They're going to support you, especially if you're doing something that they love. They're going to support you for that. It's not about money. It's about the people, and it is about the care and the concern you have for the people that you're helping.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. I love the way you put that so eloquently. I know you had shared with me earlier a website and an email. If people are interested in learning more, connecting with you, is there a way that they should go about doing that?
Yes, they can. So the website is just a landing page for right now to let you know what is coming. And so that's at www.offtocollegeinc.org. So you can go there to see what we have coming and what we have in store. And then if you want more information about the workshops that will be coming up very soon in the next year, you can email me at info@offtocollegeinc.
Amazing. And I just have one more question for you, Dr. Jackson. I'm curious, what is your call to action to others?
My call to action for others is to only be involved in something that is going to be an impact not only on you, but on others, on those that you are serving. That is the impact. Don't waste time with something that is not going to work. If it's not going to work, you need to figure out what will. Stick to your passion. And if you do plan to get in higher education, take a look back at your life and see who made an impact on your life.
Well, thank you so much for all of your time today. I appreciate meeting with you and hearing about more of your story.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you.
That's a wrap on this episode of Love on Record. Thanks so much for tuning in and letting a little extra love into your ears today. If you loved this conversation, and we know you did, make sure to check out all the details about our guest in the description. Go show them some love too. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with someone who could use a boost of love, and keep the ripple going. Until next time, stay loud, stay kind, and keep choosing love.